Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. This is your year, 2025. It's not just another year. This is the year where you stop waiting for opportunities to come to you and you start creating them. This is the year where excuses no longer have a place in your life, where procrastination doesn't have a seat at your table. You've got dreams, right? Big dreams, dreams that scare you. Good. That means you're on the right path, but here's the deal. No one, and I mean no one, is coming to hand you those dreams. You've got to go out and take them. You've got to put in the work when nobody's watching, when it feels like you're not getting anywhere. The grind doesn't stop. Success doesn't come easy, but if you have the right mindset, if you have the courage to keep moving forward when everything inside you is telling you to stop, then there's nothing you can't achieve. Let me tell you something about failure. We all fear it, but let me be clear. Failure isn't the end. Failure is the lesson. You learn, you adjust, you grow. That's how you build the strength and the resilience to push past the obstacles that will inevitably come your way. Because let me tell you, they will come. But it's not about avoiding them. It's about facing them head on and showing them that you're not afraid. And you know what else? It's not just about achieving things. It's about who you become in the process. The journey is where the real transformation happens. It's where your character is built, where your strength is tested. It's about becoming someone who doesn't quit when things get hard. It's about being the person who looks adversity in the eye and says, I'm not backing down. So if you're sitting here wondering, can I do this? The answer is yes, you can. But only if you believe it. Only if you put in the work. Only if you show up every single day and give it your all. 2025, this is your year. The year you take control. The year you get it done. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for the stars to align. Go make it happen. I'm telling you, your future starts right now. We live in a world where excuses are easy to come by. It seems like every day there's something new to hold us back, something new to blame for why we haven't reached our full potential. The weather's not right, the timing isn't perfect, people around us don't understand, we don't have enough resources, enough time, enough energy, enough support. But here's the truth. Excuses are just that. They are stories we tell ourselves to avoid the discomfort of pushing beyond our current limitations. And that's all they are. Stories. Nothing more. If you want to make 2025 your year, you need to realize that excuses are a trap, one that will keep you stuck exactly where you are. It's easy to fall into the habit of waiting for the right time. You've heard it, right? I'll start next week when things settle down. Or when I have more money, then I'll invest in myself. Or I'll go after my dreams once I've finished X, Y, and Z. Here's the harsh reality. That right time doesn't exist. The stars are never going to align perfectly. If you're waiting for all the conditions to be ideal, you'll be waiting forever. The truth is, successful people don't wait for everything to be perfect. They start where they are, they take action with what they have, and then they adjust along the way. Think about it for a moment. If you want to become a successful entrepreneur, for example, you don't need a massive budget or a huge team to get started. You just need to take the first step. Whether it's researching your market, crafting your business plan, or reaching out to potential clients, the first step is always within your control. And here's the kicker. You don't need to know everything or have all the answers at the beginning. What you need is the willingness to take action. The knowledge, the resources, and the clarity will come as you move forward, but only if you take that first step. Let's take a look at some of the most successful people in history. When they began their journeys, they didn't have everything figured out. In fact, many of them faced greater obstacles than most of us can even imagine. But they didn't wait. They didn't make excuses. They just took action. The late Steve Jobs, for instance, didn't wait for the perfect moment to revolutionize the tech world. He didn't have a blueprint for success when he started Apple. What he had was an unrelenting drive to create something bigger than himself. And he took action, even when things seemed impossible. You see, the reality is that life doesn't wait for you to be ready. And the world doesn't care about your excuses. You might be afraid of failure, and that's okay, we all are. But let's be real, fear is just another form of procrastination. It's another excuse we use to delay the inevitable work that we know we must do. We tell ourselves that we'll take action once we're more prepared, once we feel more confident. But confidence doesn't come without action. It's like a muscle that grows stronger the more you use it. So, if you want to be successful, you've got to act, even when you feel afraid, even when you don't feel ready. Because the only way to grow is to step into the unknown, to face your fears, and to push through them. This doesn't mean you have to dive into things blindly without any thought or planning. No, this is about taking action in spite of uncertainty. It's about moving forward even when you don't have every single piece of the puzzle in place. Every great achievement begins with a single action. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be done. Taking the first step is often the hardest part, but once you do, momentum begins to build. As you keep moving forward, the path becomes clearer. The answers come, the direction becomes obvious. But you can't get to that point if you're sitting still, waiting for everything to be perfect. One of the most powerful things you can do for yourself in 2025 is to get out of your own way. Stop allowing your doubts and fears to dictate your actions. Stop allowing circumstances to determine your future. The truth is, you can't control everything that happens in life. You can't control what other people think or what challenges come your way, but you can control how you respond. You can control your decisions. You can control the actions you take every single day. And when you take consistent, focused action, things begin to shift. Opportunities start to present themselves. Doors that you never even knew existed begin to open, but only if you're moving. If you're waiting, nothing will change. Action is what creates momentum, and momentum is what leads to success. When you start, even with the smallest of steps, you'll build the confidence and the momentum you need to keep moving forward. But you've got to start. Don't let your mind talk you out of it. Don't let your inner critic convince you that you're not ready or that you'll fail, because guess what? You'll never feel fully ready. The timing will never feel perfect, and you will fail. But that's okay. Failure isn't the end. It's the beginning of growth. Every time you fail, you learn, you get better, you adjust your approach, and you come back stronger. But if you're not taking action, if you're just sitting there paralyzed by fear or indecision, you won't even have the chance to fail. You'll stay stuck, and nothing will ever change. I want you to think about your dreams. What are you waiting for? What is holding you back? Is it the fear of failure? The fear of what others will think? The lack of resources? None of these things are more important than your dreams. Nothing is more important than your potential. And if you keep making excuses, if you keep waiting for the right time, you'll miss the chance to achieve what you were put on this earth to do. So let me ask you, how bad do you want it? How much are you willing to sacrifice to make it happen? Because this year, in 2025, the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. Action. Those who act, even when it's difficult, will see results. Those who hesitate, who make excuses, will stay stuck in the same place year after year. It's time to stop making excuses and start making progress. It's time to take responsibility for your own success. If you want to build a better life, if you want to achieve the things that matter most to you, you have to take the first step, and then the second, and then the third. You don't have to have it all figured out right away. You just have to begin. Once you start, the rest will follow. But only if you take action. This is your year. The year you take control of your future. The year you stop waiting for things to be perfect and start creating your own opportunities. The year you stop making excuses and start moving forward. Because in 2025, there's only one thing that matters: what you do with the time you have. And the time to act is now. Another critical aspect of failure is its ability to teach us about the importance of persistence and long-term vision. Success is rarely instantaneous, and the path to achieving goals is rarely straightforward. Failure reveals the importance of staying committed to our goals, even when immediate results are not forthcoming. It reminds us that real success requires sustained effort, a willingness to keep going when progress is slow, and the understanding that the path to achievement is often paved with setbacks. In many ways, failure also teaches us to be more comfortable with uncertainty. Life is unpredictable, and no matter how well we plan or prepare, there will always be elements beyond our control. Failure shows us that uncertainty is a natural part of life, and it helps us become more comfortable navigating the unknown. Rather than seeing failure as a reason to avoid uncertainty, we learn to embrace it as part of the process of growth and discovery. The more we accept failure, the more we are able to approach challenges with an open mind, free from the paralyzing fear of making mistakes. The fear of failure is often rooted in the belief that it defines us or determines our worth. However, failure does not have the power to define who we are, unless we allow it to. It is not the failure itself that matters, but how we respond to it. If we view failure as a lesson, we transform our perspective and see it as an opportunity for learning rather than a reflection of our abilities or potential. Failure only becomes the end if we allow it to stop us in our tracks. If we use it as an opportunity for reflection, growth, and improvement, it can become a stepping stone to greater achievements. While failure is often painful and disappointing, it is through facing and overcoming these challenges that we build the qualities that lead to long-term success. Resilience, determination, adaptability, creativity, and perseverance. These qualities not only help us achieve our goals, but also prepare us for the challenges that lie ahead. In this sense, failure is not something to avoid or fear, but something to be embraced as an integral part of the process of becoming the best version of ourselves. There is no such thing as a life without failure, and it is important to remember that failing is not synonymous with being a failure. It is simply a part of the journey, a moment in time that does not define who we are or what we are capable of. When we shift our mindset to view failure as a lesson, we open ourselves up to new opportunities, greater personal growth, and the possibility of achieving things that we might never have thought possible. Failure is not the end. It is simply a moment on the path to something greater. Failure is often seen as the ultimate negative outcome, something to avoid at all costs. Society tends to celebrate success and view failure as an indication of personal inadequacy or a sign that one is not capable. However, this viewpoint is not only misguided, but also limiting. Failure, in reality, is an essential part of life that serves as a stepping stone to growth, resilience, and ultimately success. The idea that failure is merely a lesson, not the end, shifts our perspective on it from something to fear to something to embrace. From a young age, people are taught to aim for success, to be the best, and to avoid failure at all costs. This drive for success, while often motivating, can become a source of immense pressure. In many cultures, failure is stigmatized, and those who experience it may feel a sense of shame or embarrassment. There's a tendency to focus only on the end results, the achievements, and not the process that led to those achievements. This emphasis on results often leads to a fear of failure, where individuals may hold back from taking risks or pursuing their passions because they fear not succeeding. However, the reality is that success is rarely achieved without encountering some form of failure along the way. Many of the world's most successful people, whether in business, the arts, sports, or science, have experienced numerous failures before finding success. These failures were not the end of their journey, but rather an integral part of it. Each failure provided them with valuable lessons, insights, and experiences that helped them refine their approach and get closer to their ultimate goals. One of the most important lessons failure teaches is resilience. It's easy to maintain confidence and motivation when things are going well, but true strength is revealed when we face setbacks. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from failure, to learn from it, and to keep going despite challenges. When we fail, we are presented with an opportunity to assess what went wrong, to reflect on our actions and decisions, and to make necessary adjustments. It's this process of trial and error that ultimately leads to growth. Failure also teaches humility. It reminds us that no one is immune to mistakes or setbacks. It can be humbling to realize that we are not always in control of every outcome, no matter how hard we try. Accepting failure as part of the human experience allows us to approach life with greater humility, understanding that setbacks are not personal flaws, but rather a natural part of the learning process. In this sense, failure fosters empathy, as we come to appreciate the struggles of others and recognize that everyone faces challenges along their own paths. Furthermore, failure encourages creativity and innovation. When things don't go as planned, it forces us to think outside the box, to find alternative solutions and to explore new possibilities. Failure can be a catalyst for change, pushing us to reevaluate our strategies, reconsider our assumptions, and approach problems from different angles. Many innovations and breakthroughs have come about as a result of failures. In science and technology, for instance, Countless discoveries were made when researchers did not get the results they expected, prompting them to rethink their hypotheses and develop new theories. The process of learning through failure is deeply embedded in the way we grow and evolve as individuals. When we fail, we don't just learn about the specific task or goal at hand, we also learn about ourselves, our strengths, weaknesses, and limits. We develop greater self-awareness and the ability to adapt to new circumstances. This self-discovery process is invaluable, as it helps us build confidence and gain clarity about what we truly want and value in life. Failure also helps us develop patience and perseverance. When we encounter a setback, it's often tempting to give up or abandon the effort entirely, but those who succeed in the long run are often the ones who persist despite the difficulties. Failure teaches us that success is not always immediate, and that the journey is just as important as the destination. It cultivates a mindset of perseverance, where we learn to keep going even when things seem impossible. In the face of failure, we discover our true capacity for determination. In addition to personal growth, failure can also foster stronger relationships with others. When we fail, we are often forced to seek help, guidance, or support from others. This vulnerability can deepen our connections with those around us. It encourages collaboration, as we recognize that we cannot always succeed on our own, and that the support of others can be invaluable. Failure, in this sense, promotes a sense of community and shared experience, as we realize that everyone, no matter how accomplished, faces challenges and struggles.